Today we talk about the death of Vinnie Paul, severe accusations on Stone Temple Pilots' Dean DeLeo, show review, and album review of Nine Inch Nails' Bad Witch. All this and more coming up on TrendKillRadio. Hi everybody, I am Sean Ryan.
I am Coley Colgate.
And Jimothy.
This is TrendKillRadio, coming at you, it's kind of sort of live, from Cleveland, Ohio. It is finally nice out. The fucking weather finally turned down for what? This is where I cue my booze.
Yeah.
And shit.
I was like,
Wait, where is
I think it had a lot to do with the lake effect and seminal winds.
There we go.
Okay.
Speaking of the boo.
So, in sad news, and we're all going to touch upon this just a little bit, Vinnie Paul, Dimebag Darrell's brother, from Pantera, from Damage Plan, and most recently from Hell Yeah, he has passed at the age of 54 in his home in Las Vegas. I was going to say like New Vegas or New York or something.
New
like,
Vegas.
What? In the future, when the
he
world
was killed during a game of Fallout.
So this was sad. I know this news already came out like weeks ago. I mean, when Coley and I did the update, that's when I heard the news just like an hour after he left, after we were done, and I should have actually done something about that at the time, but I don't know. I was kind of drunk at that point.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. Also, give us all time to think about it, to honor him in our own ways, and play Pantera at the bar 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That's
and
what was your go-to song?
Walk.
Of course. But I mean, let's
everybody knows it.
Let's cheers to Vinnie Paul, and now he rests with his brother, and I'm sure they are jamming out
In hell. I want to clear that up. In hell.
Well,
they're the Cowboys from Hell.
That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, that's probably where they wanted to be.
Right.
I know 3 things in life, brother. That's CBH, USA, and PBR. Anyways.
Okay. There's not a lot of I believe he just died in his sleep. I believe from what we've heard, there's no official coroner's report out on it, but I believe the guy probably just had a heart attack. He loved to party. He comes from that time,
Heart attack, for sure.
of the 80s, and he just never really wanted to slow down. Like, he was a bigger guy too.
Oh yeah.
And so I mean, I think if you're probably still doing drugs at his age, I don't know, maybe not as much as he used to, but for sure alcohol.
Right.
I mean, blacktooth grins and shots of whiskey.
Bravo for still playing drums like that.
Yeah.
After living that life and being that big of a dude.
Oh man.
He would kill it too.
Right.
And on top of that, he was the nicest guy.
I heard him
and
and Dimebag were just like the nicest dudes. I remember reading a story about Dimebag a long time ago where they were in a dry county and some fan got to meet him backstage, and there was one beer left and Dimebag gave it to him. Like those were the kind of guys that they were.
That's
like
solid.
they were just like, that's even more than Southern hospitality. Those were just cool fucking dudes.
Some good
and I mean
brothers,
they've had the tweets and stuff from Sebastian Bach and Scott Ian and Travis Barker. I mean, they flooded from everywhere, and not a single person had anything bad to say. Yeah. Well, I mean, not like you would on social media after a guy just died.
In this day and age, in this day and age, that's to be expected now. Like that rapper Extension Cord or whatever, he died. Everybody just motherfucked him on the internet for days and days and days. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but that was truly a great man and drummer.
Yeah.
Didn't know him personally, never met him, but you know what? I remember he was on Rover doing he had a really good interview, and he was he was very open and very kind and very nice. He just seemed like an all-around good dude that just loved to play drums and loved to party.
Fuck yeah.
So
I just want to personally thank everybody out there that's always supported me and every band I've ever been in, everything I've ever done. It's amazing to be able to have a career that's lasted this long. To me, it's amazing to be able to have another career after what happened to my brother and him being taken away from us. So I just want to give you guys the big love right back at you. Thank you for all your support.
You know what's my favorite Pantera-related anecdote?
What's that?
Remember when we played Alarosa Vista?
Alarosa Villa?
Villa?
Yeah.
And
Del
when-
Boca
when
Vista?
Shane went in,
Alarosa Villa. We were playing. It's out in Columbus, and we were walking into the venue, and we're probably near the end of the tour, so we're all kind of
Right.
burnt out, a little tired, a little smelly. And we just walk in, and Shane just loud as shit goes, "I want to see it! I want to see the bullet hole!" Like loud as hell. And the staff of the venue's like, "Get the fuck out of here! We were here that day. You don't fucking joke about that," because it's where Dimebag got shot. So, yeah, that's
Fucking
crazy.
Shane.
Right.
Was he drunk?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The show hadn't even started yet, but I think we had van alcohol
and other things.
and other things. Yeah.
Couldn't you just discreetly just kind of just go like...
Have you ever heard Shane do
like,
anything discreetly?
Right.
Oh,
There was
valid point. Valid point.
There was no robo tripping on that tour, right? That was just.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I was busy driving most of the time or trying to be as responsible as possible.
Right.
That's the whole tour I didn't drink on at all, except the one show I drank a little bit. Yeah.
What's the fun in touring if you're not going to drink?
I was committed to my relationship, and I didn't want to be stupid on tour.
Wow.
Blew it.
So some girl told you needed not drink on tour because you're going to get your dick in trouble,
Uh-huh.
and you listened.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Right.
good for you.
Hey, rock and roll, brother.
Still failed.
Still fails, but didn't have anything to do with that tour.
Oh, it's all for nothing.
And we're back.
Well,
Jesus Christ, Coley.
What?
This is a family show.
Whose family?
Everyone in the eyes of God.
Let us rejoice in his grace, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
In Stone Temple Pilots news,
STP.
this is something that surprised the fuck out of me.
Really?
No, it really did because every time you hear about Stone Temple Pilots, you have always heard about Scott Weiland. You have
Well, yeah.
never heard about anything else that any of the other guys are doing. And this surprised the shit out of me when I found out that Dean DeLeo's wife, since 2012, they've been dating or married.
Married, yeah.
She filed for divorce, and she had a lot of striking accusations against him, and they're not good. Spousal abuse being one of the biggest things, I would say.
Wasn't there a mention of he took their baby into the ocean? He was like
He
trash
got- yeah,
hammered
he
and
got,
just
like-
walked the baby out into the ocean. Like,
Super loaded, and the baby almost drowned.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, but I guess he admitted to his infidelities.
Well.
He admitted these are all
Swimming
accusations. God damn it, Jim.
Jim, we're gonna have to let you go.
It's been fun. He came home one night like absolutely shit faced wasted at like 3 a.m. His wife finds him in the garage with the car on, door closed, and wakes him up. He goes like violently insane and like starts choking her and shit. And after he threw up,
and she wasn't into it.
no, this is
Well,
this
that's
is like an
first mistake.
abusive version of like Randy from South Park. Like
Wow.
it's just this drunken fucking mess, and I had no idea. And this guy, I guess he's back doing heroin. He's back to drinking and drugs, and cheating on his wife, and beat the shit out of her. There are pictures that have kind of stormed across Imgur.
Imgur?
I don't know.
Immature.
I'm not fucking 14 years old, so like I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
you completely lost.
but there were pictures. There's like a police report and shit, and she's got bruises and stuff.
Well-
and she regrettably this was the wildest story that like he had like smacked her around and shit, and this was right before Thanksgiving, and she was gonna go to the cops, and then she was like, "Oh, well, this is just gonna be an awkward family dinner, so I didn't want to do it." Like, really?
Women
Like,
justify shit like that, though. They really do. That's like justification for a lot of people. It's sad.
Yeah,
but
like
true.
she just didn't want to have an awkward dinner, so she
Well,
just let it ride.
But see, she also she was one of like the over 200 women that accused the author James Toback of like sexual assault. She was one of those
I don't
people.
know who the hell that guy is.
He's a writer, author. He did a lot of work with like Rolling Stone and all these.
Yeah,
other,
like he threatened a lot of women. Like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
She
if
was
you
like
go to the
one of
cops or anything.
200 women that filed a police report, and she said in her like initial statement that she credits the whole #MeToo movement into her mindset of filing for divorce because she didn't want the abuse anymore.
Dumb.
So I'm like, well,
I mean, shit. It was like they've been together for 6 years.
Yeah.
And he's doing all this stuff, and it's a consistent thing. Like, I mean, go to the authority. Like, the guy's not worth it.
it's not that simple, okay? My CDs are in his truck.
It's gonna take a few more years of abuse, and then I'm out of here.
5 more years of abuse, and then I'm out of here, Karen. I swear to God.
Yeah, and he there's documented abuse of his son from a previous marriage.
Yep.
He said to his now divorced wife that he could have his ex-wife killed. If she left him, then he would go the way of Chester Bennington. As
Start a very successful new metal band. What? I don't understand. Gotcha.
God damn it.
He's gonna join Stone Temple Pilots for one album.
Oh man.
It's funny because it's true. Anyway,
If you guys don't know, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, he was in Stone Temple Pilots for a brief period of about 2 years, and they came out with an EP.
one EP.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, shit.
fucked up.
There was a lot of allegations, and I know like this show is more like I heard that. Coley really has the AIDS.
I have
today.
AIDS.
You have AIDS.
Yes, you have AIDS.
I hate to tell you, boy, that you have AIDS.
You got the AIDS.
He has this super AIDS today, and like
My
it's-
allergies are.
allergies.
Look, okay. I have AIDS.
I'm waiting one day, like, cause someone is gonna get so pissed at us on YouTube, and you're gonna have to issue an apology on Twitter and shit
Or
like that.
go out and actually get AIDS, which I would probably be easier. It'd probably be easier than apologizing in this day and age. You know what? Fuck it. It's 2019. I'm just gonna go get AIDS. I'd rather just go that
2019?
route. Yeah, it'll be next year probably.
Oh.
Not gonna happen this year.
Well,
If it does,
according to you, you don't even know what year it is right now. You blacked out.
it's 2017.
Like, you know what? What's crazy? Like, they were wondering, they're in the middle of a tour. They have that new singer, Jeff Gut or Jeff Gut, whatever.
Gut.
I don't know how you want to say it. And they're in China right now. And
China.
you're so bad at
I
that.
know it's my favorite.
You're so terrible at the Trump. China.
You're pretty good at it. You can't do it.
But they're in the middle of a tour, and like there's been like no repercussions of anything, like unlike anyone else that's been called out in the Me Too movement and everything, like where I mean people are just getting kicked off of shows and off of networks and being fired left and right.
I think
like,
that has more to do.
Dean's just like, well, I'm just still gonna keep playing.
Because I think that has more. I think that has
And I guess
everything to do with
he
star
got into
power.
a fist fight with
I'm
his
not
brother
relevant
too.
enough to the generation
Exactly.
that cares.
Nobody cares
I mean,
because he's not
in reality-
important. Nobody knew his name. Nobody.
Right.
They're a band still. Or, like people don't care if they don't know who you are. If they can't do a Google search and like, oh, I know him from this.
Right, I can't be mad about it because no one's gonna care that I'm mad
The
about
people
it.
that like Stone Temple Pilots still that would still like care are in China. China. It's the worst trade deal of all time.
Like that, where it's just like there are a lot of unstable musicians. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just,
and in this day and age,
we are. look at
Right.
look at us.
in this
We don't
generation.
beat anyone, trust me.
Well, no, myself.
Beats himself.
No, in this fucking modern age though, like people don't associate a band to individuals anymore. It's the front man or front woman. That's the band. Like name the bass player of Paramore. You can't.
Nope.
You can't. But they're fucking one of the highest selling bands of the last 10 years.
That-
Name
David-
somebody in Fall Out Boy that's not Pete Wentz or Patrick Stump.
Well, there you go. Like Fall Out Boy, at least Pete Wentz.
I didn't even know Patrick's last name.
But Pete Wentz was also a vocalist. If you're not a vocalist, if your face isn't in a microphone, nobody gives a fuck about you anymore.
Right. Same thing with Newfound Glory.
Yeah.
Chad Gilbert is because
Yeah.
he's also doing
Right,
vocals.
but I mean that's different for us. But like, so that's just how it is.
I find some people actually recognize Chad more than Jordan's name.
That's fair.
And it's weird.
Because why? Who is he married to? Haley Williams from Paramore.
Yeah.
So we come back around to that's why people know him because of her.
Well, even before that too. I mean, I think he just kind of had that legacy because he was in Shylud
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, I mean he was always out there doing shit, but I don't know. It's one of those, and that's something I've noticed for a very long time. It's just you know the front man, and that's it. Like Panic at the Disco is one of the biggest bands in the world. Who's the bass player? It's a hired gun.
Yeah.
Who's the horn section? Hired guns. Right. Like it's just Brendan.
I know, that's why people know you and I, but not him.
Exactly. Nobody knows Jim. I have to reintroduce Jim to friends all the time.
I know.
It's true.
He was over for that one show, and my girlfriend was sitting on the couch. She go, "Who the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "That's Jim." Like
Jimothy.
Yeah.
Well, it happens. But anyways, glad you can make it out, Tim.
Nice.
You choose to be in the darkness, though. You like
true.
being in the
That's fair.
shadows.
That's fair.
right.
And I respect that, actually.
Yeah.
I like that. I
So-
wish I could do that. I can't do that.
There you go.
It's just not part of my personality to
Yeah.
just be like.
It's just easier
in the back.
in this day and age. If you're a serious musician, you play your instrument well. It's way easier to be a hired gun and just be a name. It gets a paycheck.
I know. Oh,
That's
yeah, like one of the
Honestly,
the
it's more secure.
nameless ghouls.
Yeah.
You might actually be in Ghost, and we don't know it.
It's
You
true.
could be. You are pasty. But yeah, so that's probably why the people aren't freaking out about.
I know, but you know what? You know what's weird? And I don't even want to get into this too much because this is all an allegation done by an anonymous source. But did you guys hear about Maynard James Keenan? Always with the tool.
Oh yeah, that blew over
Man.
so fast though.
I know,
it was
because
like
you know
one
what?
day
There was
everywhere,
no credit
to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I also think like Tool's fan base is one of those fan bases like, yeah, we don't care. He could rape a child on stage and we're still gonna fucking love Tool.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's one of those things, and it's like I don't agree,
that may
but
have been a stage show at some time. Who knows?
exactly. It's like when Manson does shit, they're like, or used to do shit. If he did any of that today, people might freak out because he doesn't do it anymore. But like, imagine if he came out today and did the same shit he did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You can't do that.
Like
He was basically
ripping
pretending to
apart
be a
Bibles and
trans
shit, or what?
person. What?
Ripping apart Bibles or what?
No, like when he wore the fucking the holy or not was it Hollywood or just the bodysuit
Yeah.
where he was like
mechanical animals.
mechanical
Yeah,
animals. And he was basically
Aminals.
he was basically a trans woman basically, and that's what he was portraying himself as in all the.
Oh yeah, I know.
The lead
People
up to
would
that, and,
bitch
like-
so
Right.
much
There's
now.
there's so many.
That's
it's-
why are you pretending to be something you're not? Okay,
Right. There's so many things
whatever.
he did that were shocking that like in this day and age, no
you
one
can't
would
do it. You can't get away with it.
You can't get away with it. And there's other things that like it's like, all right, this is just tame as shit. And no one gives a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. The world is a weird place, man.
Indeed.
Thanks for coming out, Tim.
Fuck the world. Yeah, but Maynard, yeah, he was accused of this story that happened like 15 years ago or something.
2000, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Of
maybe
just
even
this
2001, something
where,
like that.
where he let a girl.
That's brilliant.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like he was just accused of some anonymous source went online and they went on some fucking no name website and they said that he led this what was she supposed to be 16 at the time or 17?
17.
And he was
Yeah.
like 34, 35
Something
and led her
ballpark, yeah.
backstage and like she expected some meet and greet thing and he was like, "Oh no, come to my bus." And they put on Fear and Loathing
Yeah.
and he proceeded to do stuff to her. And it just, there was no founding evidence or whatever.
Nothing at all.
At all. Like,
I
no,
read-
and it was an anonymous source. And there was a lot of holes in that story,
Tons
too.
of holes.
So that's why, like, I didn't really want to get into it. We could have done that on some of the updates that I had
Yeah.
with either of the
Just wasn't
gentlemen
enough.
here. But
Wasn't enough for it.
there wasn't really anything that came of it. So I didn't want to be like, I don't want this giant fucking smear campaign to keep on going on.
Yeah, and then, finally, their camps came out and said, none of that's true.
I know,
None of
he
it makes
even
any sense.
He's like, I didn't respond in time because I had my phone off. You should try it sometime.
Yeah. It's brilliant. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
So,
we'll see. The story could still be unfolding.
for
Who
all we
knows?
fucking know, he could have put out the rumor.
He could have. I mean, they have a new record coming out, allegedly.
Yeah, I know. Had
So
a new
we'll see.
record allegedly coming out
I don't know if
for
that's the way
years.
to do it, though. And this, maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe it could be. That could be brilliant marketing, actually.
I know it seems like something weird that he would do. I was thinking about that the other day. That's why, like, I thought about that.
Who knows?
Just going, maybe it was him.
Maybe it was.
Yeah. You know what time it is?
Tool time.
I know, you already did that joke once. Let's not do that again.
I'd say it anytime anybody says that.
That joke gets 2 knives.
I don't think so, Jim.
7 knives.
Oh, shit. Okay, so our album review for this week is 9 Inch Nails'
NIN.
NIN, as
NIN.
they're also known. Bad Witch, their new EP. I wouldn't even call it an album. I would call it an EP.
It's an
Definitely
adventure.
an EP.
there's
It's an adventure in sound.
6 songs, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoever wants to start, go right ahead.
I'd like to hear you guys first, out of curiosity.
Jim, go.
All right.
He just wants to copy off us.
That's
Stop
fair.
copying
That's
me.
fair.
I would never.
Stop
You-
copying
I can't
me.
even read.
You didn't listen to it too. It's going to be
did.
derivative from both of our reviews.
Jeffrey
did listen
LaRocco.
to
All right.
I did listen to it.
Luckily, I did manage to listen to this because it was only 6 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
it-
had weeks to do it.
Right. I did just listen to it yesterday though.
I listened
be
to it
fair.
a couple days ago.
Yeah. So I mean, how I felt about it in general, and everybody knows I go in and I'm listening to it with an ear for production, amongst other things
Yeah.
too.
Of course.
It's it's fairly dark sounding, like most of the albums, and creative uses of distortion and lots of things. And I like that. I like the texture. To be honest, when the album opened up first, and the first song, Shitmere.
Good song.
Honestly, when it opened up that song, I was kind of bored by it. It's like, it feels like repetitive, what I'm used to, 9 Inch Nails. Nothing really exciting to me. The album didn't start to take off to me till we got to the song Play the Goddamn Part, which I thought was really cool. It's an instrumental track, and it goes through these phases where it's like starting off with very, it's electronic kind of tonalities to it. And then in the middle, it gets cool. It's like it starts to get like, you hear like, real drum playing, or what I'm assuming is real drum playing, and you hear like a horn section thing. And then it kind of fades back into an electronic feel. And I really dug
totally
that.
stolen.
I still dug it though.
Queens of Stone Age did that a long time ago.
I don't think it's a new thing though. I
No,
think
it's not.
it's not a new concept.
It's not, but it sounded so fucking identical that I picked it up. Like,
Is it? I don't know if what it's derivative of, but I thought it was a cool movement. I thought it was well done for what it was.
Was that the highlight of the album for you?
Honestly, yeah.
Wow.
The only other song that stood out to me, the outro, Over and Out,
Okay.
like a 7-minute track. Long, kind of drawn out. Vocal doesn't even enter until like probably like 3 minutes in.
So what you're saying is the less of Trent you get, the better you like 9 Inch Nails.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is Trent.
Well,
the less
vocally.
of Trent's. I mean, I've heard Trent's vocals for fucking 20 years now.
30.
30.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like as long as I've listened to
Yeah,
him, probably
right.
like 20 years,
Sure.
and it's just, he's
9 Inch
doing
Nails or Queens of the Stone Age?
Queens.
Yeah.
But you
I had to think
see
about
what he's
it.
saying.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't pick up on that initially, but now I hear it.
I know you'd have to. This is diving back into Rated R in 2000. Like you'd have. Not a lot of people. This is before Dave Grohl did Songs for the Deaf with them, so a lot of people didn't know about him at that time. So,
Right.
this is just me kind of diving back into someone's
I'm picking up what
catalog.
you're putting down. I'm
Right.
picking it up.
right.
But yeah, I mean, overall as a whole, I mean, the album, EP, the 6 songs that he put out. I mean, not bad. Definitely not his best work. Probably par for the course.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel at this point he's done so many things, and he'd have to do something really out of his comfort zone to wow me at this point, because it's just going to be repeating things that he's done over the years, which
Right.
have never been bad.
No.
It's not exciting anymore,
Right.
and that's pretty much how I feel about it.
How many
Okay.
knives?
I'd give it 6 knives.
6 knives? There it is. Not too shabby. 6 out of 10 knives, mind you, if it's your first time seeing a review.
True that. Coley, you go ahead.
Sure. So I went into this, I guess, not really knowing what to expect, because it's been so, I won't say long, but it's been such an amount of time since a 9 Inch Nails project came out that I was eager to hear. Like, I really don't care about them anymore. I really probably can say I never really did. They were just a band that I was very much aware of and liked a couple of their jams.
Clearly, I mean, you have to be living on the moon under a rock.
Well,
with your eyes closed.
Right.
Pressing your ears.
Exactly. So I went into it just like, I don't know what this is going to sound like. I feel like, and this is not, it might sound like a bash. I'm not trying to bash Trent. I feel like he's definitely out of his prime creatively. I feel, kind of to touch on what you said, he's done a lot. So what can he really do that is going to be exciting for the listener?
What did I say? Derivative of our reviews?
I happen to share some of the same opinion in that regard, sure. I will say that I did really enjoy that he was able to do this whole project by himself, because in past projects, it wasn't just him. He had help.
He didn't. He has a co-writer.
Well, co-writer for some of the stuff, but he performed everything himself in the studio. So from what I picked up reading on Revolver, he did this all by himself. With
Atticus Ross had nothing to do with this?
He's technically in Nine Inch Nails now.
But he didn't do any of this in the studio?
He co-wrote,
I don't know.
He co-wrote a lot, like lyrically. And he touched on some stuff as far as guitar goes and some drums, but he didn't actually record anything. He didn't play anything. So he didn't play drums, he didn't play the synths or whatever the fuck, he didn't do any of the programming or anything. He just kind of was there, like kind of how we work together and like try this. Okay, cool. And like whatever.
Jim does all the work and you just
contributed like some essentially, yeah. Anywho,
burn.
It's a good one. I didn't hate it, not that I went into it thinking I was gonna hate it. I just didn't like it either. It's not something I'll probably say I want to go back and listen to that. I didn't really have a highlight for the album. Everything was kind of just boring to me, but not disrespectfully boring. Obviously, I knew it to kind of. It's hard to explain, I guess. I expected something, but got exactly what I was expecting.
Right. You have to have an acquired taste for what he does.
Right, and I don't. So to me, it was like great effort. I'm sure your demo will love this. It's not for me. But with that said, I still appreciate the musicianship and the talent that goes into what he had to do, especially being... how old is he now? He's got to be in his 60s, late 50s?
No, he's like 46.
No, there's no way.
Probably early 50s.
Early 50s, yeah. So getting able to sit down and still be that creative and that kind of weird, even though he's definitely a millionaire, definitely not living like a weirdo anymore.
Probably still living with
a little bit. I was, I'm impressed by those things. Like, you can still get out there and do it. It's kind of the equivalent of Jay-Z.
He's 53.
Yeah, kind of the equivalent of Jay-Z getting out there and still dropping rap albums. It's like, dude, you're not even doing this anymore, but I appreciate your effort. Like, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I have to say I'd give it 4 out of 10, just because it wasn't for me.
Okay, and then on to my review. Okay, so I listened to this thing, and I listened to it a couple of times, and...
I should know, I only listened to it one time.
Okay. Yeah, what... Yeah, I tried to listen to it a couple of times. Really, Shit Mirror is probably my favorite song on the album. The original single that they put out, God Break Down the Door, I believe that was the first single off of this. Probably going to be the only one because it is an EP.
Right.
My question, just touching on that, is like when bands of this caliber release... Like, Nine Inch Nails isn't getting played on the radio anymore, or the satellite radio, but terrestrial radio not so much. So when they release a song as a single... Does that really matter anymore?
No.
So, like,
well, I mean, it just almost seems like them just going like, well, this is my favorite song off the album, so here.
Yeah, here's something new. Check it out.
Yeah,
they released it to the satellite stuff, and maybe it gets picked up by like.
So I listened to it, and I thought Shit Mirror that was the best song on the album. It was a little more reminiscent of Year Zero, or what was the one before that?
With Teeth.
With Teeth, yes. Excuse me. Yeah, it was the most accessible kind of song. The rest of it, I you know what? Honestly, I thought this song, this EP was mislabeled. I really think that they should have not called it Nine Inch Nails. I think Trent has been really, really big into doing movie scores for films and documentaries. He's won an Oscar for The Social Network, and he's done this and that. But he does a lot of work in movies right now, and a lot of this music it was very much not. It didn't feel Nine Inch Nails-y. If you want to say that's a thing. But through the progression of their music, like it's always still kind of called back to what the previous album did a little bit. There was just a lot of, it just seemed like this is the equivalent of a college art school thesis, like their final project. There wasn't a lot of tangible music going on with it where there was anything to sing along to. There was a lot of ambient noise, and I know he's like really into that, but if you're gonna do that, you should maybe just go, this is Trent Reznor music, or this is they put out they covered the John Carpenter's Halloween theme just a couple months ago, right before Halloween. And it was awesome. It was brilliant. I loved it. It was a whole new take. Although it was the same song because it's very repetitive. It's 5/4 time. That's really weird.
Right.
But it went out as Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. It did not go out as Nine Inch Nails. And this is what that kind of felt like. With this whole thing and the previous EPs, the two that they put out before that, it's been a lot of just, this is just like the art I want to make.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a fever, but it's under control. I said I got a fever, need to take it kind of slow.
You're kind of deceiving people. Like, I can recall being younger and Kid Rock coming out with, man, I'm really sorry I have to say this. But Kid Rock, he came out with, I believe it was a self-titled album. It was just a black background and it said like Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And it was just him. And when I bought it, it was a country album. There was like 1 or 2 rock songs out there, and I remember returning it, and he goes, "What's the problem with it?" And I'm like, "It's not a fucking rock album." And that was the thing. Like, it's not anything that throws back to anything of Nine Inch Nails, anything that you hear on the radio, anything that you'll hear in a movie.
Yeah, it's like the farthest thing from like Closer. Like, it doesn't. That's not the same band when you listen to those. Something on
It's not. It has nothing to do with the band. It's just like,
no, I just mean it doesn't sound the same.
It's mislabeled, misrepresented.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he's been trying to deviate from Closer since he wrote Closer.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I mean, name it something different, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't disagree with that at all.
It was like when I brought this up before. Motley Crue, they came out with a self-titled album in '94, and it had a different singer. And Nikki Sixx had said in his book, The Dirt, he goes, "You know what? That album would have probably done better if I would have just named it a different band." Although it was the 3 core members and a new singer, if we wouldn't have called it Motley Crue, it would have probably done better than it did.
Right. There's a lot to be said for that too. It's like people just have, people want to be comfortable in their purchases.
Yeah. That's
we're creatures of habit, and and I've appreciated things that he's done since 1989, and the shit he's done in '94 and in 2000 and 2005. This is so far derivative of what Nine Inch Nails has always been that it really feels more like a movie score than it does a Nine Inch Nails album, and I think that's kind of deceiving.
I mean,
and that's what I don't like about it.
He, like you said, he's been scoring a lot of films and TV shows and things like that. It very well could just be a lot of stuff that didn't make it onto those projects. That he just said, "Oh, I got these 6 songs. Like, let's just do an EP, call it this, and sell some records and make some money."
Yeah,
Cash
but
grab,
it almost seems like a middle finger to a lot of people.
Well, why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's like at a certain point.
Once you're at that point, it's like
who the fuck cares? People are still gonna buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, they can be mad all they want. They still bought it. And that's the one thing about music,
Not
digitally
me.
or otherwise. Like, you still stream it. You still stream it. He's still getting some sort of income from that. Like, and he's really not worried about it. I'm sure at this point.
No, he's not. And
it
does just feel like just a college art project.
Matt
really,
White Patton has, and I'm sure he's made money off of it.
Fact. But yeah, I agree with that as well.
Like he's becoming the Tom York of the more rock mainstream audience, where it's just like, we don't sound anything like you remember what you liked.
We don't do that anymore.
but people still just eat it up. And every time that guy, I've seen so many fucking articles about Trent Reznor lately, and it's just like one quote that someone wrote an entire article about. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that just like he can fart on a snare drum, and everyone just eats it up. They will eat his farts. They literally will just like
He's
put mouth to
become-
ass and
Right.
just go, no.
He's become
It's the greatest
like,
thing ever.
He's become
This tastes like rainbow sherbet.
a piece of culture now. He's a cultural icon now.
He is.
You know,
So,
and that's
even
so-
when
it's
he's
one of
not
those-
doing anything
he's
exciting,
still Trent Reznor.
it's still.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So and like
Yeah.
that in and of itself is like a big deal because
But I've always hated Radiohead for that because of just like I get you wanting to do different things and stuff like that, but when you've derived so far from what even made you famous in the first place.
Radiohead is one of the most famous bands in the world.
I know.
I'm gonna harken back to our first segment. Name one person in Radiohead, not the lead singer. Exactly. So, and they were huge. How many years ago? And still, I mean, granted, hugest band in the world. Oh, fucking.
I get them
OK
not
Computer
wanting
is
to do
one of my
Creep,
favorite
but
records.
OK Computer,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's like
And I thought, like, you know, when they did Kid A and Amnesiac, they were doing something different, and they wanted to branch out, and they kind of called back with Hail to the Thief.
sure. They kept
And
it
then
consistent
it just
enough.
they just
Deep
went
end.
like, fuck
Yep.
you. We'll
they
do
could.
whatever we want.
A lot of people
the
do that.
guitarist all of a sudden just had like a box that he was just flicking switches and turning knobs. Like he was just holding onto this box. I'm like,
I mean, I love
You
that personally.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you don't know. Me and Jim had a weird falling out for like 4 hours because he came to like the last fucking Trap House Rave rehearsal before the show with like he's got all these switches. He's like doing shit with his vocals. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
was so
decided to
pissed.
run my wireless
He did the
microphone
same thing.
through my Core Chaos pad,
Yeah.
and I was just doing like modulations and,
And it was
delays
fucking
and
awful.
everything.
Like, it kept throwing me off. It sounded cool as shit, but it kept throwing everyone off. So I got so mad at him, and like I left the fucking practice spot. And I just went outside and like pouted like a bitch. But yeah, because why did you do that? Because why not, right?
Why not? Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the mentality that these guys have, rightfully so.
Right.
Why not? Why wouldn't Trent Reznor want to just put out whatever the fuck he wants to make some money?
I know. Just
Why
call
not?
call it something different, though.
Well,
You know.
you might not sell as many records.
Right.
It's all about money, man.
I know.
The Ponzi scheme, this thing called life.
Yeah, but so I mean, I give it 4. I thought that
Same fucking page.
I thought this EP was bullshit, just like their past 2 EPs. The last thing they put out was in 2012. I can't remember. It was a full length album though. There were a couple songs that I actually bought off there because they were melodic and they were actually good, and he had good melodies and stuff. And now it's just this. It's just
spacey.
He's doodling.
computer noises. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's on an Etch-a-Sketch.
And that's
essentially.
it's the only reason I gave it a 6 is because I like
You like that
spacey
shit. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
into that. Like when I listen to music, I want to hear something that I can grab onto.
Nah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
No, and I can
or
appreciate that.
a
I
guitar riff or
understand what
something.
you're saying,
Yeah,
but
but
this
I don't
was,
like substance. I want to wash a noise.
That's fair. That's fair.
I understand what you're saying, but this was
I
so.
want to watch
this
some
was
ice cold Miller Lite. Miller Lite.
this was just so far off from Nine Inch Nails that I just
Yeah. I agree.
He just reminded me of just like an angry teen. I was, I'm gonna do what I want.
Right.
At the end of the day, he's Trent Reznor, and he can do whatever he wants to do musically.
can.
And people will
Absolutely can.
Everyone might hate it. Everyone, the whole world, every single person in the world's gonna hate it. But then when he drops his next thing, they're gonna be like, oh, is he?
Oh man,
You know what I mean?
what an artist!
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of those kinds of people out there who weren't fans of Nine Inch Nails in their prime, who weren't like fucking goth kids and shit like that, who weren't industrial kids, but now they're aware of Trent Reznor's lore, and you know he's an icon. I have to like it because he's an icon. You know, and that's the fucking world, man. It sucks. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
All
I
right.
hate it. I fucking think it sucks, Trent.
Well,
Hope you're
then
watching.
that was that.
Yeah. So 644, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, not good. Not good
Not
for
our
you.
best review, no.
Well, I mean, like I want to do a
It's probably more
mainstream album.
our most averaged review though,
Roughly, yeah. We've either been really
because we
far
usually
apart or-
we usually differ a lot, and I mean we were pretty close on that.
Yeah. I agree. Well,
Nothing will beat the Fever 333 review.
May that album go down forever in
yeah.
infamy.
Now that was
Honorable
All right.
mention, just real quick.
Quick one. The band Vane, they released an album called Error Zone, and I thought it was very notable. Someone told me to listen to it, and I thought it was great, and I didn't think much of it. But then I did a little look into this. For an album like this to actually hit, I looked at it. It hit 20 on Billboard for hard rock albums. An extremely heavy band for hard rock. And compared to everybody else that's on the Billboard hard rock charts.
Vane?
Yeah, the band Vane.
Oh yeah, okay. VAIN.
Yeah.
For our
No,
listener to watch
VEIN.
it. Oh.
Yeah.
Vane, like Vane.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, well.
Yeah, but I mean,
listened to some of this when you mentioned it in our group chat, and I liked it, but I didn't understand why I liked it until he said earlier it harkens back to early Mudvayne, and I was like, oh, that's
right.
Right
It's a more aggressive sounding Mudvayne. And it's just, it threw me. Just compared to everything else that I saw in hard rock, right?
I know, there was Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith Greatest Hits.
And then there's this just in the middle of it. I'm
Bad Wolves with their fucking Cranberries cover.
And
Fuck you, Bad Wolves. I don't care what kind of
and
charity
honestly,
you do.
I think that's more of a statement on the fact that
And fuck you, Aaron
not
Lewis,
that
too.
hard rock is changing, but the fact that no one's doing shit in hard rock. So a band
Right.
like this is actually selling enough to
grab
hit
stuff,
it.
yeah.
Well, this is classified as metal in iTunes, but
But you're looking at Billboard, right? That
Yeah,
was it?
Billboard. Yeah.
I know, which was wild. You know what? No, I looked at that too late. It had already changed. It's not in the top 20 anymore.
Was that their debut week then? Did they?
Yeah, it was a debut weekend.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck's he talking
That's a couple
about?
thousand copies, which which sucks to say that out loud in this day and age. But
But-
I know, it used to be
Right.
like a couple
you have
hundred
to
thousand
exactly
copies.
to chart that high. But that you're probably looking to get 20. You said 25.
Yeah.
That's probably, if I had to guesstimate, 9 to 12,000 copies in their first week. Not too bad
Right.
for a band that I've never heard
I know,
of.
I've never even heard of
And
it.
a band
So-
that sounds like this.
Yeah, like just going to all the shows I do, listening to the music that I listen to, I would have come across them, I thought, at some point, but no. But they're tight. I like them.
Yeah. Good
Good
shit.
bad. Good honorable mention.
Yeah. I know.
them out.
I think I've listed in last week's update, which you can find at YouTube. You can always just search us at TrendKillRadio. No longer TrendKillRadio 216. TrendKillRaw. You will be able to find us.
Last time I looked at it on my PS4, I was able to just go TrendKillR.
Oh, there it
No
is.
shit.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
We're
coming
getting there.
up.
We're coming up.
Coming up. I mean, please, guys, everybody, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys you're not telling your friends like I'm telling you to. Do it.
Maybe they don't have friends.
Maybe I know.
That's fair.
If you watch this show, you probably don't.
Probably. That's fair.
We're all just friends.
Do us
We
a
don't have
favor.
any friends outside
Do us
of
a
this.
favor, just put the episode on loop and just go to bed. Just let it play while
Right.
you sleep.
Right. You don't have to actually have to watch.
Yeah.
We're just looking for the plays.
Yeah,
But I mean, fuck, man. If you got a Gmail or a YouTube account, please just subscribe. You only get one
hit that
notification a week.
at best.
Yeah, I know. We're like I said, we're gonna try and do 2 full real episodes like this a month and 2 updates. And the updates are half hour, and this show is whatever I feel like it being.
And I honestly, just email, comment on our Facebook page. Tell us what you like,
please
what you
comment.
don't like. If you're actually watching, just
Clear your throat.
Just tell us something.
I don't like your.
You don't like my rasp.
That's what I don't like. But yeah,
Wow.
man. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much for subscribing. The members that actually have and the views that we have received lately, they're growing every single week, and I really appreciate that. And I encourage you guys to just just keep on watching. I mean, this is like not even a rock show anymore. It's just
No.
a comedy dick around.
Yeah,
show.
and that's fine. I think that's.
But
what
I mean,
we
it's
try to be.
informative. It's
Yeah.
informative. You do learn a
It's
lot.
informative
a lot of
rants.
stuff.
Yeah.
Somewhat related to music.
Somewhat related to music.
Yeah.
Also, feel free to tell us, if you've heard of a record that came out, you want us to talk about it, or if you heard of a news story that you want us to talk about, you want our opinions on, just let us know. We'll fucking
Yeah,
talk about it.
Yeah.
If it's
this
good
band
enough.
Vane didn't see it. I haven't come across it. He
Yeah.
found it. But I mean, you are welcome to let us know in the comments, or you can private message us, or you can post on our Facebook at facebook.com/TrendKillRadio216. We will gladly, we will always respond, even if it's hate mail.
Yeah.
Even better.
Sean Ryan.
I can't wait actually for our first.
It's gonna be
first
so
piece of
good.
hate
I can't
mail.
wait. I can't wait. If you like our Facebook page, which I hope you have, leave us a review. Review us on there.
Yeah.
5 stars, but really leave a 5-star review. But A really negative post. That'd be hilarious.
No, please.
Those are the best kinds because it doesn't depreciate, but people can still be funny.
Right.
And then you can also check us out at Spotify. You can listen to all of our album reviews.
Yeah, which I will
that
be
Coley-
updating tomorrow, matter of fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, every album review that we've ever done, you can listen to those albums, and
The
you be
albums,
the judge.
Not the reviews, yeah.
You know, not don't listen to what our star rating was. I mean, let us know what you thought about Godsmack or The Fever 333
Boom.
or 9 Inch Nails.
I feel like we
et cetera, et cetera. We've done enough.
have
that,
we
you
have
know,
we done a perfect 10 album yet across the board?
No.
What was the closest one though?
There was one that was close. I don't remember what it was though. It was early.
No.
Was it Turbo Negro?
No, because he didn't even review it.
Yeah, I didn't
right.
have a review on that
Fuck,
one.
That's right. Well, we'll look back in the
Oh,
archives.
wait. The metal prog rock band.
Oh, I wanted to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Between the Buried and Me. Between the Buried and Me.
Between the buried and I, or what? Or between the dead and me, or what
Yeah.
were you saying?
Between the Buried and the Dead.
Yeah, between the buried and the dead. Yeah.
That was the
yes.
closest
Yeah.
one.
Right.
To
We were pretty
10,
high on that,
To
yeah.
all tens.
Yeah,
we
for
were
sure.
very close to that.
However, just because we riffed on an honorable mention for Jim, I want to throw this out there. The new Panic at the Disco album, perfect 10 in my opinion. Just saying.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
can have it.
Yeah.
You know what? I listened.
You saw
to
my
little,
comment on that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to little clips of it, and I really didn't mind it. I would have to get into it a little bit more for me to
Maybe
give
we'll do.
an
Maybe
honest opinion.
we'll talk about it on the update.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll-
for sure.
We'll do an update because there's a lot of Brendan Urie news in the news right now.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
So we'll talk about that in the update.
But-
Brendan Urin has got a lot of things going on.
I'm sorry, say urine.
Brendan Urin.
Yuri.
Oh.
And
My mind myself in the disco.
And on that joke, good night, everybody. Thank
night.
you guys for watching. We are Trend Kill Radio. Have a good one.
Fucking Andrew's like weak ass burn on I was like, what is that? What are you, 12?
I know that
thought you liked
was
men.
the lamest thing. Like I didn't even know. Like I couldn't even make a joke about his because his joke was so bad.
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
like, you can do better.
No,
like,
it was great because
like,
everybody just tore it apart.
what-
Did you see? Then later he said the same thing on somebody else's status, and No Tech was like, "Is this all you've got?" You keep saying the same thing. It was so good.
And then his weak ass burn on me and Jim, and then like Jim comes comes and battles him like a Spartan,
Yeah.
and then I reaffirm it, and he's got nothing to say.
And, well, then he goes. I say the same thing all the time whenever I see a relationship, and Jim goes, well, or Jason goes, well, that's just because you're a drummer. You're used to repetition.
Oh shit. Okay.